The 2012 Republican presidential candidates are now scrambling to win over last-minute supporters as the Iowa caucuses come Tuesday. You've heard what they're telling voters, but what else are they communicating? Joining us this morning to analyze the body language of these candidates, we have communication specialist Roshini Rajkumar. Thanks a lot for being with us.
No problem. Happy New Year, Joy.
Happy New Year. Well, first of all, let's start out homegrown. Minnesota Congresswoman Michele Bachmann, we know she's trailing, but she's still a very interesting figure.
She's very interesting, and we know first and foremost when we talk about Michele Bachmann, we talk about the look. She's very polished. She's a beautiful woman. Lately, what I've been noticing on the campaign trail is she's wearing her hair up more than before. It doesn't mean that's what she's doing exclusively. With her, one thing that has been discussed is kind of the crazy eyes. So I always recommend that voters look at her eyes, what's actually coming out of her mouth versus what are her eyes saying.
Interesting. And here we are looking at one of the front runners, Mitt Romney. Does he look confident to you?
He looks confident. The thing about Mitt, though, I say he should have been the poster child for the GOP nomination, and he's not. That's a communication issue on his part. He has trouble relating one-on-one with people. I think he's growing that, and he's been on a surge in Iowa these last couple days.
That's interesting. Also, his main competition, of course, Ron Paul, who's faced actually accusations of racism as of late. But are you seeing him behaving defensively?
Well, what I see with Ron Paul, as always, is he's very authentic, and people relate well at a subtextual as well as an overt level to people who are authentic, who communicate authentically, and Ron Paul really has that going for him.
Now, Gingrich has also faced negative campaign ads in Iowa in December. Does he come across as authentic?
Well, yes, and sometimes to his detriment. He needs that little edit chip that I, as a coach, would say, you know, Newt, we've got to make sure not everything you're thinking comes right out of your mouth. Now, he had a little sensitive moment about his mother in the last couple days. That's probably playing well for him, but I think he's really fallen off.
And here we're seeing Rick Perry trailing in the polls, had a little flub recently.
He has, what does he call them, oopsies?
Yes.
He has many oopsies. He's, you know, again, good-looking guy, but what comes out of his mouth doesn't always showcase this rock star candidate.
Interesting. Now, Rick Santorum lately has surged. Does he come off as pretty charismatic to you?
He comes across as very charismatic, and he also plays well with the religious right, and that's a huge portion of the Iowa caucus voter. Is that a huge portion of the general voter? No, but they've got to win Tuesday. That's the eye on the prize right now. That's what their intent is, and so he's sitting really well for that.
Oh, very interesting. And of course, your new book, Communicate That. What do you advise to our viewers in the new year who are hoping to communicate more effectively?
Well, always be intentional. When you're an intentional communicator and really understand who your audience is, that's really all that matters. And again, take a little play from Ron Paul. Be authentic. Don't try to be someone you're not.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Roshini Rajkumar, communication specialist, joining us this morning.